channel. If you're new here, don't forget to click that subscribe button as well as click that like button if you like this video and you want to see more of my content. So today I have a movie review for you guys, so it's a little treat, a little something different than what I usually do. But I'm going to be talking about the movie called Where The Crawdads Sing. And you might be wondering, well, what is a crawdad? It's basically crawfish, so yeah. The plot of the movie, there's this girl named Kaya who ends up growing up after her family abandoned her, so she had to learn how to survive on her own. And she gets kind of entangled with this guy, and the guy ends up murdered. So there's like a whole murder trial, and they're trying to figure out, did she kill him? The whole town is like, you know, talk shit, and they're like, oh yeah, she definitely did it, because like who else would have did it? Da 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 da. So the whole movie we're just trying to figure out what happened, and then we get to see like, you know, just like what she ends up going through, and then like there's like a love interest that she ends up, you know, dating before she dated a guy who ended up getting killed. So it's a cute little story. It's like mystery, it's romance, and you know, it's just a nice film. So I wanted to talk about it because it's a lot that went into the movie, and I have a little handy dandy notebook, so I'm going to be going over the points that I want to talk about. From the beginning, you see Kaya's growing up with her family. She had like a few siblings, and then she was living with her mom and dad. And she had like a house that was by the marshlands in North Carolina. So it's literally just her house, and then everybody else lives in town in this fake, you know, little fictional town called Barclay Cove, I believe. And so she's kind of an outcast, and she's living out there. And it didn't help that she ended up living there by herself. But you might be wondering, well, why is a little girl living by herself? So what ended up happening, Kaya's father was, you know, he's like a military vet. He fought in World War II. He got honorably discharged because he had this bad injury, but, you know, he was all good. So basically what ends up happening is, I guess, you know, whatever stuff he's seen at war and just in general, whatever mental health issues he developed, he ended up turning to alcoholism. And he became really emotionally and physically abusive. So, you know, the family was going through it. Like, you know, there was a little scene in the beginning where they showed that Kaya was like out on the boat, I believe her dad's boat, but you know, Kaya got caught. So the dad goes and smacks the hell out of her. And this wasn't no regular like, oh, I'm gonna give you a spanking or something. Like no, this was like, you could tell from the jump, like, oh, this is some abusive type stuff going on. There's this little boy named Tate who was friends with Kaya's older brother named Jody. And then Tate is like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, he trying to break it up because he's like, that's the homie sister. Like, what you doing? And then, and so then she's like, leave me alone. This is my daddy. Like, da-da-da-da. Which was real crazy because he just smacked the shit out of you. Like, what you talking about? I guess she was just trying to defend her daddy. Then the mama come up trying to defend her daughter, and then he slapped the shit out of her. Next thing you know, Kaya's mom leaves. Like, she didn't tell the kids, hey, I'm leaving. Hey, come with me, nothing. She just straight up leaves. Like, just goes off into the distance. Which was kind of fucked up because I'm like, you're in an abusive situation. Why not take the kids with you? Like, how are you just gonna leave them? Like, you're supposed to protect them. Who gonna save them from him? Who? Like, so I thought that was already messed up. And then they showed that the two sisters, they also leave. And it's kind of funny because part of me was wondering, like, why they never showed the dad being like, where's Emily? Or whoever, because I don't remember the sisters' names. But, you know, they never showed him reacting to them leaving at all. So it was kind of weird. And then Jody, which was the closest to Kaya in age, he's the only one who said goodbye to her, mind you. He was like, yo, I'm sorry. But he said, girl, you need to leave too. You need to get out of here before like stuff gets real, like it's not safe. But she was like, no, I'm just gonna stay with daddy. And he did start treating her like not as bad, you know what I'm saying? Like, he gave her like this little neat little basically like a satchel that he used to wear when he was in the military. So he's like, here you go, because I see you keep collecting like feathers and other cool stuff that you see in the marsh and all that. So, you know, here you go. here's a little thing. I'm thinking of you, I guess. I don't know. But he was such a bad dad. And like that nigga needed therapy, honestly, because them kids did not deserve that. It's just Kaya and her dad, and like they're trying to hide the fact that, you know, everybody in the family then left, because they would always go to this little store. There was this guy named, his name in the movie was Jumpin', and then there was Mirabelle, I believe. And so they were married and they owned a store, and then, you know, the family would go in there all the time. And so they started noticing, like, dang, we didn't see the mother in a hot minute. Like, where's she at? Is she good? And they were like, oh yeah, she's cleaning up the house. Like, she just, you know, she busy. Whole time, mama is nowhere to be found. So, you know, growing up, Kaya would go to this store all the time and stuff. They kind of, you know, just looked up for her, make sure she was straight. She was hiding the fact that, you know, daddy got issues and he's doing this and he's doing that, and it's just me and him. And there came a day when basically Kaya's mom left a note. I'm assuming it's supposed to be months later, maybe a year or two later, I don't really know. And you know, so Kaya was like, oh my god, here's a little letter from mommy, like, oh, let's see what she said, you know, because she missed her, I mean, obviously. And so the dad reads a note, and we find out like way later on, like a whole hour and some change into the movie, we find out that basically the mom was asking to take the kids with her, because I mean, she did just abruptly leave everybody. Jody, when like so many years later he went to find her, and he was like, yeah, like mom died, mom had leukemia, all this other stuff, she did try to come get us. And so then Kaya knew, like, dang, like mom literally tried to come back and get me, but this nigga, he took a match and burnt, or a lighter, whatever, he burnt the note, and so she never knew what was said. And I'm just like, how messed up of a father you gotta be? Like, you know why she left the house, so why even be like that? But you can't get through to people like that. I mean, because I mean, he's the reason why she left in the first place. So not really surprising there, but it was really messed up. And so once he seen that note, he burned all her stuff, and then I think like a day or two later, he left the house. He left a little girl by herself. Everybody else had already left her. Now you, her father, you gonna leave her too? Like, seriously? It's just like, you can't just abandon somebody who's already been abandoned by literally everybody in her family. And so it was really sad. And she, you know, she went to the little store with Jumpin' and Mirabelle. She like started like, you know, fishing for mussels, and she would be like, you know, I'm gonna bring mussels to the store if you just pay me this amount, and we can make a little something work. Because now she got to figure out how she's gonna pay to live, you know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is just like, it was just really sad. So, you know, some time goes by, whatever, she's fending for herself, she's trying to figure stuff out. The little boy he ends up coming around, you know, to visit her, and he's like, hey, like, what's up, da 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 da, whatever. And there was like a note that he was like trying to give her, and she couldn't read the note, because I believe he was trying to give her some seeds or something to plant, like some carrots and some other vegetables and stuff, so she would have some food to eat, because she was on her own. And she deadass was like, I don't know how to read this. And I gotta back up a little bit, because this is one point that I forgot to touch on. Kaya's whole family, at least the kids, none of them went to school when they were in that house. And so Kaya, one day, you know, Mirabelle was like, hey, like, you know, you could go to school or whatever, and da 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 da. Because I mean, she could tell that she didn't know as much as she needed to know. What ended up happening is Kaya walked to school one day, and you know, the kids started like making fun of her because she didn't know how to spell this word, and she just ran out because she was like, you know, I'm being embarrassed, and like, and that's nothing anybody should ever have to go through, you know what I'm saying? But kids are mean as hell. And so she basically like just never went to school. So when Tate gave her a little note, she was like, honestly, I don't know how to read this. And so he was like, well, I'll teach you how to read. And they're like teenagers at this point. So he teaches her to read. She was asking him, like, you know, what are you getting out of this? Like, why are you doing this? And he's just like, I'm just trying to help you out. So they, you know, meet routinely. He would teach her stuff, and then she, you know, learned about science and stuff like that as well. And so, you know, they just started developing this really cool friendship, and then they got to a point of where, you know, they got together and they became, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend. It was really cute and everything. And he genuinely, like, Tate was a real ass nigga. He genuinely cared about her so much. He didn't want nothing from her. Like, he was not trying to manipulate her and nothing like that. And it was really refreshing to see that, because, you know what I'm saying, she's a young girl. She's literally not even being exposed to anything for real. And so he could have easily just used her for, you know what, or just try to, like, manipulate her, or, like, just, you know what I'm saying, lie to her, all this other stuff. So, like, it was really refreshing to see somebody who actually is a genuinely good person, and, you know, help learn to read just because it's like, I mean, she gotta learn something. She gotta get some skills, something, and you can't really do nothing if you don't even know anything at all. So then Tate, you know, he had aspirations to, you know, go to college. I believe he ended up getting into UNC, and so he tells Kaya, like, yo, like, I'm gonna be going away for college, and I actually got, like, a little summer job at the college, I think in, like, one of the labs or something, one of the bio labs or something like that. And so he was gonna have to leave within, like, a week, which was like, dang, you couldn't tell her sooner than that, bro? Like, you knew you'd been applied, you got your acceptance, and then you got this little job. Like, he should have told her that, hey, I'm gonna be leaving soon. I just don't really know exactly all the details, but I'm trying to go to this school, da da da. So, and they were together. So I feel like it was really messed up that he kind of just sprung that on her, and she had no time to really, like, think about what was going on. Kaya started, like, drawing, like, really well, like, to the point of where, like, her pictures looked like, you know, like a little illustration you would see on an ad, or, like, in history books, stuff like that. And so he was like, yo, like, your art is really, really good. She would just, you know, see animals and different stuff in nature near her house, and, like, on the little beach that was close to her house and stuff. And she would draw it, and it was really good. And so he gave her a list of publishers and was like, yo, like, I'm gonna be going, but submit your work. Like, you could get some money off of this. You're not trying to leave the marsh at all. You're not trying to go off to school or do anything. So at least make some more money, I mean, on your own, which was a really good idea. And so Tate was like, you know, I'm gonna be gone for about a month since I'm starting my new job, but I'm gonna come back July 4th. It's gonna be cool. I'm not gonna forget about you, da 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 da. Y'all really think that happened? No. So this nigga Tate, which he lost points for this, because, I mean, you'll see, like, through the movie, like, he genuinely was a good dude, but he just, he messed up when he did this. So Kaya got real pretty. She got a nice little dress. She put on makeup. She did her hair nice. She went out to, like, this little beach. I guess he was gonna maybe take his boat there and then pull up on shore or whatever. So she goes up there, and she literally waits the entire day for Tate to never show up. And then she cried, and it was so sad, because I was like, damn, Tate, what the? I'm thinking the nigga was gonna come the next day and be like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a day late. No, this man went years without talking to her. He didn't write to her, nothing. And, you know, he knew she could read it, so it's like, write her a love letter or something. Like, he could have just said, like, you know, I don't think this is gonna work out, you know, I'm here at school, or da da da. And she even was already like, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna be around all them pretty girls and da da da. Like, I don't even think this is gonna last. Baby girl was right, because the nigga he went to school and was like, goodbye. She was heartbroken. And then, so, you know, she's on the beach, and she sees these people, and this guy named Chase Andrews ends up being, like, one of her love interests and stuff after Tate, you know, went to school. And Chase, he was a villain, okay? He's the one who ends up dead, and rightfully so, because that nigga wasn't shit, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. So Chase, first of all, red flag was from the first time they even hung out. So Chase, he went ahead and he started, what'd he do? So he was hanging out with some people, and then he like seen Kaya, because she was just kind of being shy, whatever, so she didn't go up, say hi to nobody, nothing. She was just mind her business. Then Chase goes to see her, and he was like, hey, what's up? Like, you want to go on a date with me this weekend? Like, let's go on my boat or do something, or do a picnic, I think. And so she's like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. So she goes on a little picnic, and then the nigga, you know, he kissed her, whatever. Not a big deal, whatever, they're having a good time. But then he starts trying to do some things, and she's like, I'm worth more than a picnic, like, and I'm like, yes, sis, because even though she don't know about nothing, she knows about something, okay? She must have read it in some books or something, because she already knew what the nigga was on. He was not worth the time at all, and so she shut that down. He stopped trying to like do stuff, whatever. So then she like walks away. He's like, no, I'm really sorry. And he was like, let me take you to somewhere. So they go to this thing called the fire tower. It's like super big, but it's like dangerous because there's like these like little things. I don't know the formal term of it, but I guess like you could say maybe like these grates that were like on top of the thing, and one of them was loose, so you could like fall through if you didn't notice it was like that. So she was scared to go up there, but it was actually a really good view of the entire marsh, which was, you know, surrounding her house and all that other stuff. And normally she wouldn't really explore it because she just kind of stuck to what she knew, but then she would also go into town and get groceries and stuff. But honestly, if it was me, I would have not went up there with that nigga, because first of all, he already tried to get the goodies, and he know her for all of 5 seconds. What, he thought she was gonna be easy because she, I don't know, like, I don't know. Maybe thought she would be an easy target or whatever. So I personally think she should have never even went to Far Tower with the guy, and then he's like, show me your house. What you need to see my house for? So they go to her house, and then he looks at like all the stuff she has. She has like all of her little drawings of like the different animals and like all that other stuff. And he's just kind of looking at it like, okay, like, why do you have this? But I mean, she's interested in it. It's something that obviously she really likes. She's really into science and knew a bunch of facts about different animals and stuff, and like, so it was just really weird that he basically just, he kind of treated her little hobby, whatever, as like something stupid. But then he kept trying to convince her that, oh, I'm a different guy, and like, I just put on this persona that I'm like this and that, so I make my family happy, so I make this person happy, but really that's not who I am, you know. And he's trying to make it seem like he's like kind of like her in a way, or like he's more deep than he seems to be, but that nigga was not shit. I think that was just a ploy just to get Kai to try to fuck with him, honestly. And so they did end up getting into a relationship. He would come see her all the time. They would hang out. Everything was cool. I was like, you know what? Maybe Chase ain't that bad. Hell no. But that's how they get you. He's different. Girl, no. I think about, it was either 5 or 6 years later from when, you know, Tate had left Kaya and everything. And she decides, you know what? I've been doing this little drawing stuff for a little minute. I'm good at it. Let me hit up these publishers that Tate gave me a list for. So she hits them up, and they decide to actually, you know, do a book with her. And so she gets paid for her drawings, and that was pretty cool. So her book came out, you know, jumping in Mary Bell. I'm sorry if I'm butchering her name. I'm trying my best. But basically, you know, she goes to show them like, yeah, you know, I got this book, and they were like, oh my god, I'm so great. They're honestly, the whole movie, they were kind of like her little auntie and uncle. Like, it was so cute. And so, you know, they were proud of her, and they're like, yeah. And she like stopped coming around the shop a little bit, and so they were like, you know, don't just be going off and not let me know what's going on, because like, we need to make sure you straight, because they're, you know what I'm saying, like, they're not taking care of her, but they just want to make sure she's good, because she don't got no family. So it was really cool for them to be like, yo, like, you gonna leave town? Because I think she had to leave to, she did go up to Asheville with Chase at some point. I think for like her books or something, or he just wanted to go up there. I can't remember why they did it. I just know they took a little trip to Asheville, and she left and like didn't really say anything, and like she was gone for a little while. And so like, you know, Jumpin was just like, girl, like you got me messed up. I need to know where you're at, little Miss Ma'am. And it was so nice. It was really nice though. And so, you know, she was like, no, I'm sorry, like I got you. Randomly, Tate pops back up and he's like, I'm so sorry for abandoning you. She's like, she snapped on him. She was like, I don't want to see your face ever again. You left and you never came back. You couldn't even write me to tell me that you didn't want to come back. Like, and I was like, yes, girl, check him, because he just had to tell her, it's not gonna work out. I found this person, or I want to do this, or I don't want to keep coming back to the march. And he was like, no, you're absolutely right. I should have at least just told you something instead of just going ghost. And it's kind of, it kind of fell into her abandonment issues, because she got abandoned by her mom first. She kept looking for her mom, trying to figure out what's going on with her mom. Then all her family members left, including her trash daddy. And then now Tate, you know what I'm saying, they built a great relationship, and now she leaving him. I mean, well, he left her too. It was just like, damn, nigga, you know everybody that left me. You gonna leave me? You just gonna not say nothing? Cause mind you, every time somebody left, she never heard from them again. Now the mom did write in, like I said before, but she didn't get to read that note. So, and he just said, honestly, I thought you would never want to leave the march, which he was right. So he knew her. He knew what she was about. She did never leave the march. Yes, she would go into town. She would go over here. She would go over here. But she never permanently moved out of living by the march. She never moved into town and got an apartment or anything. Like, she just stayed in, it was her house, and then it was a bunch of nature, and that's all it was. And so he was just like, you know, I felt like I wanted more than that. Like, I wanted you to explore the world with me, and you didn't want that. And so I just never came back because I thought you would never, I thought you would never give that to me. And he could have communicated, and that's what's wrong with these niggas. But anyways, so they start, you know, still being friends, and then he catches wind. He catches wind that she's dating Chase, and I had to take a bathroom break during the film, so I don't even know what had happened at a little point for like maybe 2 to 3 minutes of the movie. But basically, there was some situation, and Chase and Tate had like seen each other, and I think, I don't know what it was. I don't know if he found out that Chase was in a relationship or not, and so he was like, I don't know about that. But he got some weird vibes from him, and so he went to Kaya and was like, girl, like, watch out for him, like he's not who he say he is, or something like that. And so, and it could look like, oh, you just hanging, you just want to get back my good graces, you want to be with me again, but he really was just being a good friend. So, you know, he still was holding her down, you know, being cool with her. And then, oh, and Tate, the reason why he was there as well is because he had moved back Berkeley Cove, and which is like the little town or whatever. He moved back there, and he'd gotten like whatever job, and so he was like, dang, like, you know, like, let's just still be friends, whatever. So one day, Kaya goes into town, I don't know, it's like some store or something, and she sees Chase, and she's like, oh, hey, what's up? And then 2 people pop up. It was like a friend, and then Chase's fiance. So she goes up. I'm assuming Chase just told her, oh, you know, me and Marsh girl, we just be hanging out, because, you know, people in that town, they were talking. It's like no one had secrets there. Like, everybody who was, you know, in the know and was talking to other people, they knew exactly what was going on. So even when Tate and Kaya was messing around, and they, you know, got in a relationship and all the other stuff, people was already suspecting, like, you been spending a lot of time with her. What you doing with her? You know what I'm saying? And then they did eventually get together. Same thing with Chase. They were like, oh, something going on. I've been seeing her with him. What's going on with them? And so he probably was like, oh yeah, like, That's just my friend, you know what I'm saying? I just be trying to help her out, whatever. She's on her own. Whole time he was dating her. And then the nigga was looking dumbfounded because his fiance was like, oh, hi, Kaya. It's nice to meet you. This is my fiance. She was like, who? So after that, you know, she didn't cause a scene, nothing. She just walked away. She kept it player. She walked away and was like, okay, this is done. We ain't nothing no more. So the dude, he started stalking her. Like, he would go, he knew where her house was, so he pulled up to her house. It was like, Kaya, Kaya. He went into her door. I don't know if this girl did never locked her door or whatnot, but, or maybe she didn't even have a lock that she could put on the door because it was the only house out there. But the nigga walked right into the house and he started like just being like, where's she at? Where, Kai, where you at? Where you at? I know you're in here. Da, 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 da. And so she was hiding down like behind like a tree or something. Anyways, so she basically went ahead and she what was that talking about? What was I talking about, Ozzy? You gonna help me remember? Oh yeah, so she would always like try to just hide from him and stuff. He even went into the same store as her another time. You know, the grocery store that like her uncle auntie would own or whatever. And she was hiding that. He was like, oh, hey. And she was like, get away from me. Like, leave me alone. And he just kept trying it. And it's just like, you had her as a side chick and she didn't even know she was a side chick. Like, she thought she was the main entree or like the only meal. Like, what's wrong with you? And you have the audacity to keep bugging this girl, keep trying to show up in places she's at to get her to talk to you, but you're the one who had a whole fiance the entire relationship. You knew you was in a relationship when you met the girl. Why did you start doing something with her? It's so messed up. So she ended up like just on the beach one day and the dude was there. I can't remember if they decided to meet up there or he just caught her there, but I'm pretty sure he just happened to see her there. And I can even say he tried to do it. He actually did it because, so he pinned her down and y'all could probably, yeah, the R word occurred, but not for like too long because she basically like picked up a rock because they were on the beach. So she picked up this big rock and smacked him in the head a few times, pushed him off of her, and was like, leave me alone. You come around me again, I'm gonna kill you. Because it's like, who the fuck are you, bro? You're gonna force her to still fuck with you because you're a cheater. You can't even say he cheated on her because he already had somebody the entire time. So it's just like, you cannot force somebody to be with you in a situation that they did not agree to and then continue to still try to let that happen. Like, no, absolutely not. And so she was just like, bro, you keep coming around me, something gonna happen. Like, you do not control anybody. You do not own anybody. It does not matter what the hell is going on. And so he just had this mindset like, I'm Chase Andrews, I get what I want, my family's rich, I do what I want, if I want you, I'm gonna have you. Absolutely not. And so I'm glad that they showed her. She was such a strong, I really like how they painted her in this movie, because they painted Kaya as someone who's just strong. Like, yeah, she had a tough upbringing, but she overcame. Yeah, she stirred in the marshlands and stuff, never really tried to go nowhere, but she did get herself a check, you know what I'm saying? She did do something that she enjoyed, and she stuck to her own values, and she didn't let someone manipulate her. But the whole time for why she even got with Chase is because she was lonely to begin with. And so it's kind of like, that's an issue, because when you get lonely, you accept certain stuff just to have somebody around. And so the moment that the man tried to have sex with her the first day they met, just because they had a picnic together, and mind you, out in the open at that, like, at least get a room. Like, come on, bro. So the fact that he even did that was already a red flag. She should have like not messed with him after that situation. But she was lonely. Tate had left her whole family gone. So she was just like, I mean, it's something to keep me company for right now, so whatever. Oh, and he tried to, Chase, once again, he tried to claim that the only reason why he got engaged to his fiance is because he's trying to do what's right, because his family's like, you need to date her, you need to be with this type of person. And yeah, stuff like that does happen. But the fact that he became a complete, like, just terrible person, like, after that whole situation, it already shows, no, you're not different. This is exactly who you are. Like, he's definitely like a younger version of her dad. Like, I don't really know about the alcoholism, but he definitely was abusive for sure, because he did smack the shit out of Kaya before he tried to R-word her. So he definitely, he was abusive. He kept trying to stalk her, all the other stuff. He was just completely toxic, and I was like, this is exactly how her dad was. And so she already knew, and I'm so glad she wasn't like, you know what, I'm lonely, so I'm gonna still be with him. No, she stuck to her guns, and she was like, no, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Kaya, she got hit up to do another book for, you know, to insert her illustrations in, and she had to go to Greenville to go do that, whatever. She had to meet up with the publishers and talk to them about whatever. They had like a nice little dinner and stuff. And so the same night that she went up to go do that, she took whatever bus, she got real dolled up, did her hair, did her makeup, everything was straight. She went to go do that, and people had seen her leave. So when she was doing that, whatever, that same night, Chase had died. He had fell off the fire tower, because it was like, I guess it was like, it was that, and then his body was like right here. And so they like, the police, they had figured that out or whatever. And through the whole movie, by the way, they're basically showing that Kai was in jail because, you know, they thought that she killed Chase. And so she's basically retelling the whole thing. And then there's a lawyer who decided to come out of retirement, and it was like, I'm going to defend her because, you know, I seen her grow up. I seen people always treated her like crap, even though she just really was just a good person. She didn't deserve any of that. So he was like, look, I got you. I'm going to get you off. You ain't going to jail for this. Whether you did it or not, you're not going to jail, ma'am. So, well, you're not, you know, you ain't going to serve whatever sentence. And so, you know, the dude was talking to her, and he was like, you know, like, we could do a plea deal. Like, you served this amount of time, say that you did it. She's like, absolutely not. So, absolutely not. So, you know, the dude, super good lawyer, you know, he starts like just doing his thing in the courtroom. And basically they never showed how Chase died, which I really wish they would have, because, you know, just you know, peace of mind. But they basically alluded to what happened. So the lawyer, he was like, y'all are saying that she killed a man, but her alibi is that she was in Greenville with her publishers. So you mean to tell me she got on a train at 11:30, killed a guy, then went back on the train and was right back in her hotel in Greenville to, you know, do her next meeting or whatever? Like, you're really trying to tell me that's what happened? Which you soon find out later on in the movie, you find out that's probably exactly what happened, because her hotel was extremely close to where the train station was. She said if that nigga come back around, she gonna kill him. So, you know, when they basically say the verdict, because they couldn't prove that she killed him. There was little things that, you know, kind of looked like, dang, this make you look bad, girl. But because she had one important thing I forgot to say. So Kaya gave Chase this shell necklace, because it was a shell that they had seen on the beach the first time they hung out, and I guess she just kind of was like, oh, here you go, whatever. And he would wear it all the time, so you could tell Kaya did mean something to, even though he's a fucking asshole, he's a liar, he's a cheater, all that other stuff. She did mean something to him, because he did wear that shell necklace all the time, even though he didn't understand her fascination with nature and animals and stuff. he did wear that necklace all the time, to the point where even his mom was like, we went to dinner with him earlier that night, he had the shell on. Now the shell necklace ended up being missing, so they found his body, but they did not find the shell necklace. And she's like, well, we just see him with it on, so we think that Kaya kills him because that she gave him that. So where is it? Which was true. She did kill that nigga. And we found out because they couldn't, like, basically they couldn't put her at the scene of the crime because she had somewhere she was supposed to be that night. And no one had seen her get on the bus the 2 times she would have needed to be there to kill Chase. So she must have been in some disguise or something. They never fully showed it. But when the lawyer had said the hypothetical situation, basically it said, this is what happened, but y'all can't prove it, so she's off. And that's the whole thing about the justice system. Who can prove their side more? And, you know, the jury has to figure out, okay, which one sounds more like it makes sense. And so this whole simple point of how the fire tower had this thing where you could fall down it if you made a misstep, that was it. He went up there, he fell by accident, and he died. So she got off, and they were like, you know, we're so sorry you spent time in jail, like, da 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 da. And so Tate and her, they ended up getting back together, because real ass nigga, he was there, he held her down and everything. And I really like the fact that, you know, even though he messed up, he did abandon her, he didn't tell her what was going on. He still, aside from that situation, he was always there for her. He always made sure she was straight. Whole reason why she was even having a publisher look at her work and was going to submit it and had an alibi and all the other stuff is because he gave that, like, he basically was like, yo, like, you could do this thing, like, you could submit this to these people. She would have never known anything about that. She would have never looked any of that stuff up. And so it's kind of like he saved her without even trying to, like, and it's just so crazy that, like, she should have never ended up with Chase at all, but it did happen. Tate was like, will you marry me? And she was like, well, we kind of already are, because something cute about nature or whatever. So they, like, started laughing, and so they end up showing them growing old together. And then one day she died, like, randomly. She was in a boat. She ended up showing that she had like many books had been published and stuff over time. And Tate had found like this little sketchbook she had, and he had seen a picture of Chase, and basically Chase, he's looking at, I couldn't see the writing for like what it had said because I can't see far away, especially like in a movie theater, like whatever. So I don't know what the words had said, but it was Chase's face, and then when he flipped the page, it was a shell necklace in the book. And I was like, she killed that nigga and got off. I was like, oh my God. But he deserved it. He deserved it. Because this is the thing with abuse and all the other stuff. It keeps happening to a point of where it's like, it's going to be you or him. And so it happened. He deserved it. There's no reason why you got a fiance, but you over here starting a new relationship with somebody else. She don't be in town like that, so it was super easy to hide the fact that he was in a whole relationship. And then got the nerve to R-word her and to stalk her whole life and do all this other stuff. And like, it was too much going on. Like, and it showed him routinely trying to get to her and say stuff to her like 5-6 times. So it's just like, come on, bro. Like, you're just gonna harass her for the rest of her life because she doesn't want to be with you. So I think the whole symbolism with her having the shell necklace was because she gave it to him because they were starting a situation, like they started a relationship or whatever, and so she took it back. You don't deserve this no more. You don't get this piece of me anymore, sweetie. so it was just like, I don't know, it was everything. The ending, they should have showed how it happened. I really wanted to see that. I really did. But other than that, it was The movie was so good. I'm really glad that Tate and her found their way back to each other, because he messed up. And honestly, even me in that situation, I probably would have wrote him off, be like, we could be friends, but that's it, because you just up and left me. Everybody left me, and you gonna do it too. I trusted you. How dare you? Really enjoyed the movie, and I want to talk about it because it's just showing you, like, there's the a-holes like Chase who think that they own you, even though they have no right to you at all, and that he was not a good dude. And so it's like, accept defeat, accept that you got caught. She didn't tell your fiance that y'all were together, so he got away with it in that sense. So it's just kind of like, why don't you just go be with her? Why don't you just, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one for sure knows that you're with this girl. It's just all speculation, other than, I guess, his homeboys probably knew. More than likely, his homeboys knew. But it's just like, you're getting away with it. You're still gonna marry this girl. Just go be with her. Like, why you gotta force yourself on somebody else who don't want you, rightfully so? Like, it was just so stupid. But Tate stayed down. You could tell that Tate really, really cared about her as a person. You need that. You know what I'm saying? She had nothing essentially growing up, and she gained someone who genuinely cared about her well-being, who put her on to make some money. But hey guys, so my camera died, so I've been talking for like 10 years and stuff. Yeah, I basically said everything I needed to say, to be honest. Y'all need to go. I didn't already said everything that happened in the movie, but I mean, sometimes it helps to, just to see how things play out too. You know what I'm saying? You just be like, oh, that's when that happened, and ooh, that was good. I don't really know. But anyways, if you watched the movie or whatever, I hope you enjoyed the movie just as much as I did. I feel like it had really good messages in there. And it's just like, sometimes your person is still your person. They will mess up, but who is for you will be for you. And yeah. Thank you for checking out my videos. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to tell a friend and tell a friend and tell another friend. I know I said that fast. But don't forget to tell a friend to check me out. Check back for the next one. Bye.